Hey guys, my name is Max Convexity. Thanks for tuning in my channel. I really appreciate it. Alright, today's video is called, Hey Max, how in the heck did you miss the estimate so badly? Again. Well, it's, I feel bad about it, but last month on IWMY, I don't know if you guys remember, but they were making, that fund made lots of money. They were having big profits every day. Their options were expiring worthless. It was a dream come true for an option trader. So I figured they'd pay $1.20. Well, they ended up paying like 80 cents or something. I was way off, way off. Okay, well, this month they lost 46 cents a share. They had a bad month, you know, and so I looked and, you know, and I figured, okay, maybe they'll pay 70 cents. Well, I was way off again. They ended up paying $1.20. Anyway, the good news is I'm not going to miss it again. I figured out what they do and why that happened. The information's out there, and I'd had subscribers mention this to me before. Jay's given multiple interviews, and he's alluded to this. I just needed to open my ears. Jay told us all we needed to know. So you can think of these funds like annuities or life insurance policies. And I mean in the sense that, think about this. A man goes into a life insurance office and buys $1 million policy and pays his first, you know, writes him a check and pays his first premium. He walks out of the office and then he drops dead for some reason. It's rare, but it happens. Okay, well then what happens? You know, then when his widow comes to the life insurance company and she wants her $1 million, the life insurance company doesn't say, oh, we haven't made any money off your husband yet. We didn't have a chance to invest his premium, so we can't pay you. No, of course they don't do that. That's the same reason these funds don't just not give you a dividend when they have a bad month, when they lose 46 cents a share. These funds hire actuaries. The entire financial industry is run by actuaries and is run on future value calculations. They can take a set of data and they know over a certain amount of time, a long enough time period, that they'll make X amount of dollars and they know what they can afford to pay out. Jay knows how much they can afford to pay for these on these different funds. They aren't going to bankrupt these funds because they pay too much. I mean, these funds are a cash cow. They're making a 1% expense ratio. That's gigantic. It's in their best interest to keep these funds in business and growing. Yes, they need to pay dividends to attract people, but at the same time, they can't pay so many dividends that they drive the funds out of business, and then they can't charge an expense ratio anymore. The whole deal is about getting the expense ratio, and they're very motivated to keep doing this, and I wouldn't worry about them, and I wouldn't worry about the fund. They have this down. Like I say, these actuaries, I wouldn't be surprised if Zega has one on staff, or if they at least consult with actuaries. They know what they can get away with and what they can't get away with. All right, so here's the solution. The solution is 90% of extrinsic. That's the answer. It's really not much more complicated than that. All right, so let's look at last month's results. I added 2 new entries to the spreadsheet. And this is last month's spreadsheet. After today, these numbers right here will reflect this coming month's extrinsic and estimate. But for right now, we're looking back. So all I did was I took the extrinsic capture, or it's not even capture. As soon as you sell an option, you earn the extrinsic, or you don't earn it when you sell it. You earn it when that option expires. Extrinsic is time value. Options always have 0 time value by the end of the term. That's why selling options is so profitable. And so they know when you sell an option for extrinsic, once it expires, you know you're going to make the extrinsic. You may not have net profits. There could be situations like IWMY had this month where they lost 46 cents a share. See, that entry's over here, or 47 cents a share. Just had a bad month. But they still made plenty of gross money. They just didn't make net money. Anyway, like I say, the actuaries have all this figured out. So look at this. So all this column is you add up all the extrinsic up to declaration day, and I forget the numbers in the millions, and then you divide it by how many shares outstanding. Well, anyway, that came to $1.42. So that's the extrinsic per share that this fund has earned this month, right? Okay, well, also Jay mentioned before something about paying 90% of profits. He's mentioned extrinsic. He's mentioned paying 90% of profits. I think you put the two together and we have the solution. 90% of $1.42 is $1.28. Well, they paid $1.20. It's not exactly right, but it's way closer than I was. You know, I'm fine with 5 or 10 cents, you know, so people have a good idea. I did, the last month, I underestimated on purpose. I didn't want to get people's hopes up, so I was hoping it'd be more than 70 cents. I like to be conservative. At the same time, I would rather be right than be conservative. So I'm convinced with this new formula that I'll be a lot closer to being right. I would have a lot rather guessed $1.28 and have been $1.20. And this is what I'm going to guess next time. Unless I find new information out, I'm just going to take 90% of the extrinsic. Doesn't matter if the fund made money. Doesn't matter if they lost money. I'm just going to take 90% of the extrinsic, and that's my guess. So I won't even have an estimate show. We'll just be seeing the number all month. I probably will have an estimate show just for fun. But I'm going to have a running number all month that's going to be right here on the sheet. I put it right in the column above extrinsic. Anyway, but yeah, so these guys, $1.28 would have been my estimate if I was doing it today, and they made $1.20. Okay, well, or they paid $1.20. All right, so let's make sure it works on all of them. Maybe it was just a coincidence that it worked on that one fund. Because I first thought about this last night, and I thought, okay, it works on IWMY, but then when I checked the other two and it worked on them, I don't think it's a coincidence. I think this is it. All right, I'd be anxious to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. All right, so on JEPY, now these guys actually made profits. They actually had a profitable month. They made 46 cents a share. They had lots of good trades. They won like 13 trades in a row or something through here. Look at all that. I mean, you know, they had a great month. And so profit-wise, they could afford to pay 46 cents a share. So I think that was my guess. I just guessed, okay, 46 cents a share. Well, no. They actually can pay a little bit more than that because of the extrinsic capture. When you add up the extrinsic and you divide it by the shares outstanding, it comes to 59 cents. You take 10% off 59, and you get approximately 53. I rounded a little bit. But anyway, that makes and then they paid 58 cents. Okay, so that one's within 5 cents. Well, that's pretty good. I mean, that's really good. I would love to be within 5 cents every time, and I think I will be from now on. Let's look over here at JEPY, or I'm sorry, QQQY. See what they got going on. Now, these guys also had a trading profit for the month. They made about 46 cents also, but or I think it's actually 39 cents. They made 39 cents because they had a loss on the last day. But in any event, they did have some profits, and but still, the extrinsic profit they had was actually 89 cents. All right, so you take 9 cents off 89, which would be, well, you take 9 cents off 89, you'd be 80, but I rounded it up to 81. Anyway, they ended up paying 85. So, I mean, you know, that's really close. That's really good. So I'm pretty sure that's all there is. I mean, that's all there is to it. I'd be anxious to know what you guys think. If you guys have a different way that you think they do it or whatever, leave it in the comments. I'll be really interested to hear about it. All right, guys. So from here on out, 90% of the extrinsic. The guesses will be a lot closer, hopefully within a nickel. We shall see, though. You guys have a great day.